والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. So in the last class we took hadith number 259. Alright, the issue in that hadith was with Sa'id ibn Abi Ayyub, who يروي الحديث بواسطة عمرو بن أبي نعيمة وهو مجهول. Alright, so here he doesn't mention who we got the hadith from. But if you go through the other books of hadith, you find that this is the person that he actually narrates for. So here we see, like, if you go back to hadith number 259, you see Sa'id ibn Abi Ayyub, قال حدثني بكر ibn Amr. So he narrates it from Bakr, but then in other narrations, in the other chains of narrations, he doesn't narrate it from Bakr. He narrates it from Amr ibn Abi Nu'ayma. And Amr ibn Abi Nu'ayma is majhul. And that's what he actually narrates the hadith from. So that was the issue. As I told you last time, I grabbed my son. I didn't grab my book. I didn't grab my son's. I didn't grab my book. So that was the issue with that hadith. So 259 is da'if. Alright, so now we're on 260. قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى, chapter 131, باب التحابي بين الناس. التحابي بين الناس means what?
Love between the people. Love between the people.
Yeah, alright. Because like we talked about from before, we've mentioned this, gone over this over and over and over again. When you have the verb form in the Arabic language, تفاعل, يتفاعل, تفاعلا, this has the meaning of what? It means to do something between the people. Ta'awanu. It means that each person, they work together, they cooperate together. You know, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ta'awanu ala al-birri wa taqwa. Work together, cooperate together in establishing
what ta'awun.
I'm just going over the verb.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, so, anybody need any water? So, and then we see this throughout the Arabic language. Whenever you have tafa'ala, it means that you do this what? Between each other. We see this, the best example of this is the hadith of Abi Hurairah, it's in Sahih Muslim, where the Prophet ﷺ said what? Hadith in Sahih Muslim, Abu Hurairah. لا تحاسدوا ولا تباغضوا ولا تدابروا. Alright, so we have this تحاسدوا, لا تحاسدوا, لا تباغضوا, لا تدابروا. Alright, all of these, they follow that same verb form in the Arabic language, which means, we know hasada in the Arabic language means what?
To be jealous.
To be jealous. When we say تحاسدوا, لا تحاسدوا, it means don't be jealousy and show jealousy amongst each other. Don't spread it amongst each other. وَلَا تَبَاغَضُوا. What?
No, get angry at one
another.
Huh?
No, bughd is extremely hate somebody. Like you really, like you despise that person. Like, see, if you hate somebody, like you could hate somebody, right? Go up and say, Assalamu alaikum, akhi, smile and go. You hate the person. But when you say al-bughd, in the Arabic language, you can't even look at the person. You can't even give him salams. You can't talk to him. Like that's, so the Prophet ﷺ said, "La tabaghadu." And the first, and also I left out the one with la tanajishu. Tanajush is what? I mean, we've taken this hadith at least 3 or 4 times. In the khutbah, taking it in the class. Tanajush, huh?
Dealing with pricing.
Be more specific though.
So like if you have a contract, if you agreed that when it comes to bear.
Well, that's something different. Tanajush is like I'm putting something up for auction. So I hire Ibrahim and I say, Ibrahim, I want you to bid on this, but Ibrahim has no intentions of buying it. The whole point of me telling Ibrahim to bid on the product is to do what?
To raise it up.
To get that price high. Because I know that the people want this thing, so I want to get the price as high as possible. So I hire Ibrahim to bid on it. And once he sees like somebody that really wants it, he goes into a bidding war. until like he feels like, okay, it's time to stop and let the guy buy it. You know, you set a price, say, okay, Ibrahim, I want to get to this price, right? And this is what they do. This is what the kuffar do whenever they have these auctions. Like, not these auctions like for cheap things, but obviously like auctions for, you know, paintings of like, paintings, like these ancient paintings or whatever, Da Vinci type paintings. And they have these auctions, so they get people to go in there and bid just to increase the price. And this is a tanajush. All right, and this is impermissible. All right, is the sale still valid or no?
It would be haram. It wouldn't be haram.
No. The sale is still valid, but the action of how you got the sale is haram. And you're sinful for that. You're sinful. But as far as the actual asl of the bear, no, it's permissible. Because you can set the price of something as much as you want. I can sit here and say, hey man, this bottle of water is $50,000. You know, and you can say, I'm not going to pay 50. Don't pay it. It's a contract, right? I offered it to you, and you agree or you disagree. It's up to you. So, I mean, the price, as far as making the price, there's no, that's why you see there's no price setting in Islam. You know, when they went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and complained to him about fixing the prices, what did he say? And Allah huwa al-Musa'ir. You know, he's the one that, because basically it's based on what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the rain, doesn't send the rain. You know, the food that we have and the amount of food that we have, all that's going to change. So we can't sit there and say the price is going to be set at this. It's impossible because things that, situation changes. You know, there's going to be years, there's going to be a lot of rain, there's going to be more fruits, more vegetables, more food. You know, the cows, they get to graze more, so they fatten up a lot more. You know, and the cows have more milk because they eat more grass and all that. Then there's years there might not be any rain. You know, and the cows are going to get skinny, the milk's going to be less, the fruits and everything. So, you can't sit there and just set prices. So, I mean, the prices go according to whatever the person wants to sell it for. You know, so that's tanajush is like causing but the issue with this is that Ibrahim has no intentions of buying this. His intention is only to get the price raised up so I can get more money. Thank you, Ibrahim. Yes. All right. He said, وَلَا تَنَاجِشُوا وَلَا تَبَاغَضُوا وَلَا تَدَابَرُوا. What did he say about tadabbur? What does that mean? I think I'm just teaching jinn. That's who.
No.
Because, whenever I ask these questions, everybody keeps looking at each other. And nobody wants to answer. It's فكر, man. كل واحد يريد دبر بعض. The backside is your dubur, right? And nowadays it's used for your butt, but the actual meaning in the Arabic, وَيُوَلُّونَ dubur in the Quran. They turn their backs. They turn their, so whenever if they're fighting, what do? They run away from the enemy. So when they run away from the enemy, what happens? Yeah, they turn their backs. So their backs are facing the enemy. So that's totally to dubur, right? So the dubur is the whole backside, not regardless of what the Arabs use it to mean nowadays, because they use everything out of its context a lot of the times nowadays. So a tadabur, it means that each person shows each other his what? His back, yeah. Turns his back to his brother. I'm not talking to him. I'm not giving him salams. I'm not dealing with him. And he does the same thing. So this is a tadabur. Each person stops talking to the other person. All right, so this is the verb form you see. Tafa'ala, yatafa'alu. And the masdar is tafa'ulan. So you say what? Tadabara, yatadabaru, tadaburan, wa huwa mutadabir. All right, mutadabir. All right. So, bab at-tahabbi bayn an-nas. So this means spreading love between the people, right? حدثنا إسماعيل ابن أبي أويس. إسماعيل ابن أبي أويس هو ضعيف في الأصل ولكن البخاري رحمه الله انتقى من حديثه. What does that mean? انتقى من حديثه.
He narrated from him? Like a weak hadith.
The book that I keep talking about all the time is called Al-Muntaqa. Like he went out and he went through all of his ahadith and he found the ones that are authentic and he took them out and he left the rest. All the ahadith that were not authentic, he left them. So whenever you see Bukhari narrating from him, these are the ahadith that he felt were what? Authentic. Sahih or Hasan at least. Alright. So حدثنا إسماعيل بن أبي أويس قال حدثنا أخي عن سليمان أخوه عبد الحميد ابن عبد الله ابن Abi Uwais. So you see that they don't take from their father. So Ismail ibn Abi Uwais is actually Ismail ibn Abdullah ibn Abi Uwais. And his brother is Abdul Hamid. His brother is thiqah. His brother is strong in hadith. Khalas. There's no need for al-intiqah, you know. Alright. So he said, حدثني أخي عن سليمان ابن بلال عن إبراهيم ابن أبي أسيد عن جده عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال والذي نفسي بيده لا تدخلوا الجنة حتى تسلموا ولا تسلموا حتى تحابوا وأفشوا السلام تحابوا. Alright. This hadith is Hasan لغيره بشواهده. Alright. Because the asl of this hadith is what?
تاخذ قطعا انت تاخذ من القطع
ايش هو؟
انت تاخذ قطع انت تاخذ قطعة من الحديث.
No. This is all hadith, but this is a different narration. The hadith itself is the origin of the hadith is authentic. And that's what I'm saying. That's when we talk about what Bukhari did. See, this chain right now, when we look at like Ismail ibn Abi Uwais is what? Is da'if. Alright. Why did Bukhari choose this hadith? Because there's an asl of this hadith that what? Strengthens this hadith with this narration, right? What's the original hadith? لا تؤمنوا حتى لا تدخلوا الجنة حتى تؤمنوا ولا تؤمنوا حتى تحابوا قال هل أدلكم على شيء إذا فعلتموه تحاببتم قال أفشوا السلام بينكم. So he said what? He said that you won't go to Jannah until you what? Until you believe, and you won't believe until you what? Till you have love. Do you have this spreading of love amongst you, this brotherhood? And he said, "Ala adullukum ala shay." Can I not give you something or point you to something that if you did it, that it would spread this love between you? He said, "Afshu as-salam bainakum." What does that mean?
To spread the salam.
Yeah, to spread the salam between you. All right, so that would be the opposite of what he said in the hadith of Abu Hurairah in Sahih Muslim, where he said what? وَلَا تَدَابَرُوا. Because tadabaru what? You're not giving salams to each other. You're turning your back. Whenever he comes around, you turn your back, he turns his back. Nobody wants to talk to each other. So obviously that spreads the what? That spreads hatred and enmity and destroys brotherhood. But here the Prophet ﷺ said, you know, this is the only way. If you want to get to Jannah, you have to believe. And if you want to believe, so does that mean if the person doesn't do this, that he doesn't believe? So what is the meaning of this hadith? Because he said, لا تدخلوا الجنة حتى تؤمنوا ولا تؤمنوا حتى تحابوا. حتى تحابوا. Until. So that means that you're not going to believe until tahabu. So if you don't, ما وصلت إلى هذا التحابي فخلاص. What? You don't believe. That means you're not going to Jannah. Huh?
Love your brother for Iman. Love the Iman. Say yes. No.
Are we just throwing out any answers tonight?
No, I said, is it? No, I don't know.
It's from ikmal, takmilat al-iman. Alright, it means that you're not a mu'min, right? La tu'minu imanan what? Kaminan. Like as long as you have these problems with your brother, that you're always going to be naqas in your iman. Alright, this is from the nuqsan al-iman. Because if you truly have iman and you truly love the deen, then what are you going to love?
People follow.
You're going to love the people that follow the deen, that practice the deen. Your hatred is not going to be for the people that practice the deen, it's going to be for the people of disobedience. You know, because you have hatred for disobedience to Allah, so you have hatred for people who what? Disobey Allah. But your love is for the people of obedience. Even if they fall into some mistakes, you know, but we're talking about like, you know, he makes mistakes, but he makes tawbah and you see him trying. That's what your love is for. So how could you're always going to be, deficient in your Iman if you don't have love for the people of Iman. So if you have any issues in your heart for those people, you might have personal issues, but you don't allow those personal issues to change your behavior with that person. All right. So there's still another piece of this hadith. I didn't finish it, did I? All right, but that part of the hadith is actually a shahid for that hadith. That part is authentic. When he said, وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْبُغْضَ. All right, وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْبُغْضَ. What does that mean? We just talked about it.
I don't know how to
Like
translate
it's just having absolute hatred for each other. Yeah. So he said, because he said, فَإِنَّهَا هِيَ الْحَالِقَةِ. Al-haliqa is what? It cuts your hair. Haliqa. But what did he say? He said, لا أقول لكم تحلق الشعر ولكن تحلق الدين. He said, al-haliqa, he said what? He said, but I don't mean like haliqa, like it's cutting your hair, but it cuts you off from what? From your deen. He said, حدثنا محمد بن عبيد قال حدثنا أنس بن عياض عن إبراهيم بن أبي أسيد مثله. Alright, so like I said, this hadith is actually da'if, but there's a shahid for the first part of the hadith. As far as the وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْبُغْضَ, yeah, there's a shahid for that part, which is what? وَلَا تَبَاغَضُوا. Alright, but as far as فَإِنَّهَا هِيَ الْحَالِقَ لَا أَقُولُ لَكُمْ تَحْلِقُ الشَّعْرُ وَلَكِنْ تَحْلِقُ الدِّينِ. Then no, so that part, I don't know of a shahid for that, and Allah knows best. But the first part, yes. The first part that I mentioned about like لا تدخلوا الجنة حتى تؤمنوا ولا تؤمنوا حتى تحابوا. The hadith is in Abi Hurairah and Sahih Muslim. So that's authentic. Bila shak. Alright, we're going to take one more chapter and then we'll go to the questions inshallah. Alright, chapter 132. Bab al-Ulfa. What is al-Ulfa? Come on, Arab? Huh?
Like, no.
Well, what is it? Okay, no. That's a good one, right? ألف يؤلف تأليفا مؤلف تأليف is a book, right? But why do they call it مؤلف? Why? Huh? Then you understand the ulfa.
Because they wrote the book.
It comes from the word jama'a. Like kataba in the Arabic language, it means what? Yeah. Alright, so الألفة الاجتماع. الاجتماع يعني التوافق وتقارب القلوب. So that means that the people are congregate, they come together. They come to, there's like this togetherness. Alright, al-ulfa, it means that what? That everybody's hearts, they all come together, but on what? What brings the people's hearts together? Yeah, it's got to be the deen. Because other than that, what are our hearts going to come together on?
Sin, haram.
No, I'm saying like as us, like right now as Muslims, if we're not coming together on the Sunnah, on the Quran and the Sunnah, what's going to bring us together?
Money.
Nothing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like for a temporary.
No, all that stuff is just temporary, and it causes if you all come together for money, for the sake of money, it's not going to be 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, 3 years, and all of you are going to be hating each other. If you come together for any purpose of the dunya, that love will not remain in the hearts of the people. The only thing that remains is the deen. That's it. That's the only thing that remains. The only relationships, the only, ijtima', that's what remains. And it has remained. It continues to remain. Just like the Prophet ﷺ said, وَلَا تَزَالُ طَائِفَةٌ مِنْ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ what? قَائِمَةً على هذا الأمر لا يضرهم من خذلهم أو خالفهم حتى يأتي أمر الله وهم ظاهر على الناس. So here, in this hadith man.
Oh, I say that. I know it.
Go. Hadith man.
I know it.
Okay, say it.
Muawiyah.
No, yeah, he does it. Muawiyah. وخرجه من?
Muslim.
Bukhari and Muslim. Yeah, متفق عليه. So لا تزال طائفة what? لا تزال. لا تزال in Arabic language means what?
Like, it will not get rid of.
It will not cease.
It will not cease.
Because zala, you say like azalahu an makanihi, it means what?
You remove it from its place.
You removed you from his place. Removed him from his place. All right. What?
Abdus
What Abdus Salam?
Salam.
I don't think he pulls a coffee cup out of his pocket though. I'm pretty sure that the masjid provides that for him. Yeah, Saturday, man. Saturday, they have people walking around in the durus with coffee, giving you dates and coffee. You never, oh, you haven't sat with the ulama Saturday yet? When? What would you say?
No, it's not like sit. It was on an Umrah trip. I just happened to be there. It wasn't like
Nah, in Mecca it's different. If you go to Riyadh and you sit with the ulama, it's not going to happen like with the durus of Sheikh Salih Fawzan. No. But if you go to like the bigger durus, because you know, like there's certain shuyukh that maybe they only come and visit once in a while. Yeah, in the middle of the class, they'll bring dates. Who wants coffee? You can drink out of this.
I wasn't able to sleep till like 2 a.m.
That's good.
And I had work. I had to work when I got up.
Pass it back. Don't spit in it though. Man, give that back there, man. Man, غشنا فليس منا.
How is that cheating?
I don't know. I'm just saying something. What was I saying now? Alright, so لا تزال طائفة. Oh, what? طائفة, what does it mean?
It can mean even one person.
It
can mean group, or it can
it's
mean
a small
person,
group of people.
or even one person.
So there's always going to remain like a small group of people that have the deen. Like when we say on the deen, it means like the way it's supposed to be. So the fact that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that, and also mentioned the hadith of إن بدأ الإسلام غريبا وسيعود كما بدأ غريبا فطوبى للغرباء. Hadith, man. I'll take it easy on you. Just give me the Sahabi. I mean, this should be easy. The takhrij of this hadith should be easy, but just give me the Sahabi. Dude, if you just guessed, you'd get it right.
Is it Ibn Mas'ud?
No, okay, maybe not you. بدأ الإسلام قريبا.
Ibn Umar.
Go back to sleep. The hadith is like Islam started as something strange and it's going to return like it started as something strange for Tuba. So all the good in this life and the next life is for the ghuraba, for the strangers. Somebody said it. What did they say? Abu Hurairah. Yeah. I said it. You just guessed, you get it right. If you had to guess one Sahabi, what would you guess? Abu Hurairah. He narrated the most hadith out of all the Sahaba. SubhanAllah. Alright. I don't even know what I was talking about. Alright. What were we talking about?
Coffee.
Huh?
Coffee.
No.
No, we were talking about the meaning of life.
Yeah, but what was that connected to this hadith?
It was ulfa.
Oh, al-ulfa. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, those, like, but you see those types of people, because like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, he said about the arwah. He said al-arwah junudun what? مجندة. ما تعارف منها what? ائتلف. وما تناقر منها. Let's try this again. ما تعارف منها ائتلف. From ulfa. ما تناقر منها. Yes, اختلف.
Was that a hadith?
The opposite is ائتلف. اختلف.
Is that a hadith?
Yes. Abu Hurairah. You had to guess again.
No, I don't know.
So the arwah junudun mujannada. What does that mean?
The arwah, the souls, you know, like they're all like they're all like one soldiers, like the group soldiers.
Like they're grouped together. All right. So basically, everybody's going to be grouped together by what? By their character, by their mannerisms, by there's so many factors that go into this. So you're always looking for that group that you what?
Connect.
That you connect with, that you have these connections. So if you're a quiet person and you like to be around quiet people, you're not going to be in a group of loud idiots, right? You're not going to feel like mu'talif. You're not going to feel this ulfa with this group of people. You know, if you're trying to practice the deen and you know you're being in the masjid, you're trying to memorize the Quran, and you're trying to memorize the hadith, who do you want to be with?
Same people.
You want to be with the people that are doing that. You don't want to be with some dude hanging out on the block smoking weed. Got nothing to do with him because you have nothing, there's no connection. In fact, everything that you despise, he represents. And everything that you represent, he's running away from. No, he doesn't. Most people don't despise it. They don't despise the khair. They know it. They'll believe it's the truth. But they run away from it. They don't, they're like, well, that's for them. It's not for me. And so I won't say that he hates it, but he doesn't want to, he doesn't want you to remind him of the things that he's not doing. So because you make him start to feel guilty. So, and that's what the majority of people, especially sinful people, that's why they don't like the people who give advice. Because why? Because you remind them. You remind them of what they're supposed to be doing. So that's why you see it's very, very heavy for people that are steeped in sin to sit amongst the people who are what? Trying to practice the deen, trying to do the deen. Just like it would be heavy for us to be, like, could you imagine getting invited over to a person's house right now? And you go into the house and he's got music, half-naked girls, weed smoke all in the air, people are drinking 40s. I don't know, do 40s even exist anymore? Free. Do they do that anymore? I don't even know, because I'm like, last thing I remember from the 1990s, man. My mind is still stuck in the 90s, huh?
Yeah.
They still have them? All right. So you got all this going on in the house. How would you feel now? That heaviness, right? You'd be like, I got to get up out of here. That's the same way they feel now when they come. Huh?
So that was me at the bank. I got to leave.
Yeah, so but that goes back to the hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-arwah. The souls are like junudun mujannada. They're gathered just like junud. Like you're not gonna go and have the Marines lining up with the army, right? The Marines line up with the Marines, the army lines up with the army, the Navy with the Navy, right? Exactly. They're like junud. They're like soldiers, but they line up and what? According to what they know, according to what they are, what they represent. You represent the Quran and the Sunnah. You can't be hanging around with Mr. Greenberg, calling him your brother. You can't be hanging around with Mark and John and talking about they're my brothers. No, because you're on Islam. They're on something completely different. You're on two different paths. So you're trying to take the path to Jannah, and they're trying to take the path to Jahim. So your hearts cannot be together in this. All right, so that's al-ulfa al-ijtima' wa taqarub al-qulub. Taqarub al-qulub, it means that the hearts are close together and that they're all joined on one thing. What's the ayat that we always talk about? Surah Ali Imran.
واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم
كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم. Now you used to be enemies. Who were the enemies?
Sahaba.
No, not the Sahaba.
No, the tribes.
What the tribes?
Aus and Khadraj.
Khadraj.
No, Aus and, sorry. I've been going through all this recently. I'm very tired, sorry. Aus and, I can't remember right now.
Al-Khazraj.
Khazraj.
Khazraj, not Khadraj. Khazraj. All right, so those were the two tribes of what?
They used to hate one another and they're regular.
So where are they from?
One of them's from Yemen.
Oh, they're both from Yemen. Awesome. But where were they at? What did they become?
Oh, brothers.
What did they become?
Ikhwan.
The Ansar, akhi.
Oh, the Ansar. Oh, like that.
They took the bay'ah to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that they're going to protect the Prophet, protect the people that make hijrah to them. What was that bay'ah called?
Oh, come on. They need to know that. Especially you.
Yeah, everybody should know that because you're sitting in the masjid with the name of that bay'ah.
It's called Al-Aqaba.
It's called Bay'at al-Aqaba. Yeah. The word Aqaba in the Quran, what does it mean? Comes in what surah?
Surah Al-Balad.
وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَةِ. What is it? Today's just Jeopardy, dude. This is what happens when I go home from Jumu'ah, cook food, don't even really have time to eat it. All I can do is nibble on the food, toss it back into the pot, and come here. So then I make your life suffer, huh? Come on. ما أدراك ما العقبة. Al-Aqaba, you should know it. Huh?
يعني هل هو يعني معنى
No, in the Quran, in that surah. No, there is another
mean
tafsir.
الساعة?
There's another tafsir of the ayah.
You mean hour?
No. Al-Aqaba is a jabal fi Jahannam. It's a mountain in the hellfire. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَةِ. And then he went off and said, فَقُّ رَقَبَةِ. So what was the connection between a mountain in the hellfire and him telling you these good actions?
You mean that because if you free a slave, you will be saved from that?
Yeah, if you do these actions that he's about to tell you, and then you will be free and you won't get punished by having to find out what Al-Aqaba is, like, physically, like, but it's a mountain in the hellfire, yeah.
Wait, before, so waylun, is it true that Ibn Abbas said that's why fi Jahannam?
I don't know. Whale.
Waylun, like waylun lil-mutaffifin, or waylun likulli humazatin lumazah.
No, whale in the Arabic language.
So it's like, because I know there's two meanings when I kind of like.
But you gotta understand, man. You got there's so much. There's a book. It's written by. It's a very rare book, and we just happened to find it. It's by Feroz Abadi. Feroz Abadi. Who is he?
No.
Qamus al-Muhit. He's the person who wrote Qamus al-Muhit. He has a tafsir. It's called Tafsir Ibn Abbas.
Oh, it's all weak though.
It's all weak. All of it, from the beginning to the end. So, I mean, you can't, just because Ibn Abbas said it, you have to go back and check the chains of narration anyways. Because I mean, you imagine, this is a whole book. It's like this big. I had it in Sunnah. I found it by accident. Because, what I used to do when I was bored is I used to go to the bookstores, the big bookstores, not the smaller ones. And I used to go on the bottom shelves. I used to squat down. My legs used to be so sore by the time I got home. I would squat down on the bottom shelves and pull all the books out and look. And I found that book just looking like that. I found it just like Tafsir Ibn Abbas, Feroz Abadi. Oh no. And they happened to have 2 copies, so I bought 2. One for me and one for the brother Abu Zainab. Huh? What are you laughing about? You're laughing about outside? What?
I think he's laughing because you got so happy to find a weak hadith book.
Huh? What?
Hey.
Feroz Abadi. Abadi. Not Zabadi. Now, because his name Feroz Abadi. Because Feroz was originally a man's name, not a woman's name. Now, if you say Feroz, it's what? It's a female name. Alright. Back to this hadith if we're ever going to finish it. Alright, 261. حدثنا أحمد بن عاصم قال حدثنا سعيد بن أرفير قال حدثني ابن وهب عن حيوة بن شريح عن دراج عن عيسى بن هلال الصدفي عن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله عنهما. There was a hadith that I narrated in the khutbah for today from Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. What was the hadith?
What's the first word?
It's easy. No, first word. The first word, عن Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As رضي الله عنهما.
First word of it.
عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال.
No.
We are at the khutbah today.
Yeah.
This used to be a tactic. I'm not going to mention the daddy's name because that daddy he did a loop-de-loop out of the. But back in the 90s, he was calling to the Sunnah. And he used to do that to the people. Like, people come up to him after the khutbah, like, MashaAllah, Sheikh, that was a good khutbah. He's like, oh, yeah, MashaAllah. What was it about? Yeah, man, you were talking some good stuff, akhi. It's like, he'd always put the person right on the spot. What was it about? But you guys, I test you with a more difficult test. What was the hadith from Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As from the khutbah today? You should know it because you had to sit there and listen to it in the car. Every time that we're going to the khutbah, I'm driving, and Saif's holding the paper. So I'm reading while I'm driving, and he's following along. So if anybody should know, it's Saif. Are you looking it up?
No.
Or are you trying to go through the chat to see if you can
No.
get the answer and pretend like you're the one who answered? Yeah, who said it in the chat? Let's give credit
No,
to
Allah, no.
He's over there going through the chat, and all of a sudden he's got the answer.
I really wasn't here. Here's the chat right here. I didn't delete nothing.
Yeah, sure. المسلم من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده والمهاجر من هجر ما نهى الله عنه. ها.
تركي حديث
تخريج.
مسلم.
متفق عليه. We're having a bad day, people. I guess it's because it's Friday, right?
That's a lot of moving around. You can say
Yeah.
that.
What was that? What was the hadith? I translated it for you in the khutbah.
He gave that laugh like, I don't know, like nervous like.
المسلم من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده. Come on.
Yadi is hand.
Hmm?
Like like the Muslim, someone that like holds his tongue.
A Muslim is the one who safeguards other Muslims from his hand and his من لسانه so from his tongue and his hand. And the muhajir, the real immigrant, the real person who migrates for the sake of Allah, is the first that he migrates from the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited you from. So you migrate from the disobedience to Allah to the obedience to Allah first. Then you migrate from the land of disobedience to the land of obedience. Because you see the Sahaba, the first thing that they did was what? They were in Mecca amongst the kuffar. But they had already made the first hijrah before they made the second one. And that's why Ibn Qayyim, what did he talk about? He called his book what? Tariq al-Hijratain. How to make those two hijrahs. How to make not just the hijrah from the land to the land of, of kufr to the land of Islam, but also from disobedience to obedience. Because that comes first. That's what the Sahaba did first. They made that hijrah first. Then they made the hijrah from that land to that land. Alright. So he said, قال إن روحي المؤمنين لا يلتقيان في مسيرة يوم وما رأى أحدهما صاحبه. This hadith is ضعيف. The Raj here is Ibn Sam'an, and he's ضعيف. Like there's nothing to help this hadith. Alright, so the Prophet ﷺ, according to this narration, is said to have said, إن روحي المؤمنين, like the souls of the two believers, لا يلتقيان. لا يلتقيان means what?
They meet one another.
They meet each other, the souls, not the believers, but the souls. Like they're out and they go about, and then the two souls, they meet each other. Alright. في مسيرة يوم, in the travel of a day. وما رأى أحدهما صاحبه, and each one did not actually see his friend. Like maybe he's in California and his friend is in Texas, and then according to this narration, the souls, they go out maybe while they're sleeping or whatever, and then they mix together. So he wakes up and he feels like he's been what? He's been with his friend, and he feels this closeness to his friend even though they're far away from each other. Alright, whereas he might be sitting with his family, and and they don't have that type of ulfa with them. They don't have that type of feeling of closeness of the hearts. And he feels he's sitting right there amongst his family, but what does he do? He feels like the distance ma bayn al-mashriq wal-maghrib. He feels the distance between the east and the west between them, even though he's sitting right next to the person. But he has this closeness to his friend, even though his friend is what? Far away. But this hadith is life. But that is, it's, you have that feeling. But as far as like is it authentic that the souls go out and meet up and hang out and then come back? No, Allah knows best. But that's not from this hadith. Alright, that's not authentic. Alright, 262. This is the last hadith. Actually, no, we got to read two more. Alright, حدثنا عبد الله بن محمد قال حدثنا سفيان, and tell them I don't know. I didn't get a chance to look because I was too busy trying to hurry up and eat my food before I got here. I was nibbling. Yes. The cat ate more than me. Yeah, the cat ate good today, didn't he? Oh, you didn't see because you were too busy messing around. But yeah, that cat was eating raw meat, boy. We were making hamburger helper. Because Asad loves hamburger helper now. So we had to, you go there, you get the ground beef, the halal ground beef I told you from Restaurant Depot. You get it like this big, like 10 pounds of it. Yeah, so I just feed it give like little chunks of it to the cat. That cat's gone crazy. Every day he goes right to the kitchen and sits right where I gave him that meat, and he just looks at me. I'm like, nah, man, this doesn't not every day, dude. What do you think we're like made of gold? Man, come on. When we eat, you eat, but that doesn't work like this. He's like, man, it's like the sister, right? Before I gave it to him on a box, so he would go right onto that box and just sit there. He won't eat his food. He wants that meat. Oh, we're gonna have to kick that cat out the house, man. Huh?
Put it. You could trick him. Put it where you put the meat inside the bowl. And
He tell him. What did that cat do for the first week? We tried to give him cat food. He flipped the bowl, Achi. I am not joking. He goes up there like, boom, how you eat this? Little kitten, man. It's like not even like, it wasn't like, you know, a handspan. Achi. He flipped the bowl. Every day he flipped the bowl. Until we gave him tuna. And the only thing that would shut him up is tuna. We had to go get Star-Kissed tuna and give this stupid cat so he stops flipping the bowl and getting cat food all over the house. Yeah, man. Long time. You remember now. Just flipping the bowl. Ungrateful cat. All right. So, حدثنا عبد الله بن محمد قال حدثنا سفيان. So, I'll check this tonight, inshallah. So, remind me tomorrow, Sufyan, inshallah. If I had to guess, my money's on authority. Huh?
Yeah, hadith 240.
Tomorrow, inshallah.
oh,
I keep forgetting that. Somebody's going to ask it in the chat, don't worry.
they already did.
Did we take...
It was actually Hamid who asked it this time.
No, that's good. So somebody needs to remind me before I come here. You keep reminding me when I get here. Remind me when I'm going through the hadith. But like today, I was eating food, going over the hadith, taking notes on the hadith while I was eating. So, all right. عن إبراهيم ابن ميسرة and Tawus man. Tawus, where is he from? Oh, that's your homework, man. Write that down. Write his name down. And y'all better come. You too. Both of y'all. You read about Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak Ems yesterday. Today, inshallah, tonight you're going to read about Tawus.
What'd you read from Abdullah?
Huh?
Where did he read about Abdullah Mubarak?
I don't know. What'd you read? He read it from Sifat al-Safwa from Ibn al-Jawzi.
Oh.
Last night we came here, but we didn't have the class. So I was sitting on one couch reading Adab al-Bayan, and he was sitting on the other couch reading Sifat al-Safwa.
You said Tawus?
Tawus.
With the wow?
It's okay.
It's right in the book. You don't. Where's the book I gave you?
I was in a hurry.
Yeah, man, you ain't gonna use it. Give it to somebody else.
Oh, yeah, I'll use it.
Huh?
مش اسمه كامل.
I think it's Ibn Kaysan. Look it up.
Okay. Where is it? Wait, no.
Look him up. Tawus, but look up Ibn Kaysan. Look it up. Tawus Ibn Kaysan.
Oh, you're looking at. Oh.
I'm saying, look him up. Make sure his last name is Kaysan.
Tawus Ibn Kaysan.
Just type in Tawus Ibn. It should come up. How many Tawawis are there?
Yeah, it says on Google it says Tawus Ibn Kaysan scholar.
Yeah, from Yemen. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Huh?
No.
He was the one I told you. He's not Yemeni Aslan, but he was raised up in Yemen. That's where he grew up. That's where he studied. That's where he learned hadith. But his asl is he's Persian. All right. So Tawus ibn Kaysan. عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال النعم تكفر والرحم تقطع ولم نرى مثل تقارب القلوب. This narration in Ibn Abbas is sahih. Alright, so he said on Ibn Abbas, he said, النعم تكفر. And ni'am was what? Blessings. Tukfar, what? That the blessings are disbelieved.
They don't show gratitude for it.
Yeah, like they're tukfar, it means that ingratitude is shown for blessings. Like ingratitude is shown for blessings. وَرَحِمُ تُقْطَعْ. Huh?
Kinship is cut.
Yeah, the womb or the ties of kinship or the ties of family ties are cut. He's just talking about the reality of people. Blessings are what? Ingratitude is shown towards blessings. And he said, and ties of kinship are cut. He said, وَلَمْ نَرَى مِثْلَ تَقَارِبِ الْقُلُوبِ. And we did not see anything better than the closeness of the hearts. Because the people on deen, like you see your brother in the deen, all of these things might happen around you, but it won't happen with that relationship that you have with a person whose heart you have that closeness to. The taqarub al-qulub, that closeness of the heart. You know, you're not going to go through any of those, you know, these things might happen with your family. They might even happen to you. I say you might have the worst relationship with your parents, your brothers, your sisters, or whatever. But then you might have but you have this other person that you just have a very close relationship with. Khalas. And that's what he's saying, that we haven't seen anything better than what? That closeness of the hearts, the hearts being close. And especially with the deen. So that the narration of Ibn Abbas is authentic. Alright, حدثنا فروة ابن أبي المغراء. Farawa is another word for it.
Farawa?
Yeah, it's another word for the thing that you're wearing, by the way. They also call it Farawa.
This?
Yeah.
Oh, Farawa.
Alright.
Farawa.
Ibn Abi al-Maghra' قال حدثنا القاسم ابن مالك. Alright, القاسم ابن مالك فيه ضعف. There's weakness in this hadith, ولكن called tubi'. What does that mean?
Can you say it again?
Called tubi'.
Oh, he's already been followed.
He's been followed.
Tubi'.
What, by the FBI or what? Like, who's been following him?
Like his works have been followed?
No, his hadith has been followed up on. And they found out that even though he is not strong in his hadith, but, you know, he narrates. He himself is not, his hadith is not accepted, but he narrates hadith that have shawahid, that have a basis in the Sunnah. All right, you want coffee? Huh? You don't want to do it again, huh? It's a bad experience. All right, so this hadith is, inshallah, authentic. All right, عن عبد الله ibn عون عن عمير بن إسحاق قال كنا نتحدث أن أول ما يرفع من الناس الألفة. He said that we used to say that the first thing that is raised from the people is what? Is al-ulfa, this ijtima', their closeness together. And wallahi, we see that today. There is absolutely what? Zero ulfa when it comes to the deen in America. And not just in America, but most around the world. Because the deen right now in 2024 is playing second fiddle to everything else. What does that mean?
Second
Yeah.
place. It's not the primary.
Yeah, it's not the main fiddle, it's the second fiddle. What is a fiddle?
It's like a lie.
No. You gotta tell me.
I'm lying.
I'm just testing the English language now.
He just says that.
You are so far. Like, I asked you for A1 sauce and you brought me mayonnaise. That's how far away you are.
He doesn't like mayonnaise.
Reed, you want to tell him what a fiddle is? Yeah, it's like that little, it's like a country violin thing. So they say he plays second fiddle, that means he's not on the main fiddle. So nobody pays attention to him. Everybody pays attention to the person.
I was laughing because he was laughing. I wasn't laughing at you.
Yeah, but it also means a lie. Really?
No, fable means made up story.
Or fib. Fib, that's what
A fib, yeah. Boy, stop fibbing.
Yeah.
But you don't hear your grandmother say, boy, stop fiddling. Now, fiddling, yeah, they do use that in the South to mean, no, to play. But I'm not going to say, yeah, I can't give you an example with that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, stop fiddling with that remote. That's a good one. Like, you might hear that. Stop fiddling with that remote. Stop playing with the remote. Yeah, that's a Southern thing, but yeah. Old school Southern. I don't even know if they say that. You think they say that anymore? You heard that any time in the last 20, 30 years? Stop fiddling with that. Yeah, that's an old school thing. Questions, man. Let's go. Just give it back here. We won't watch the whole thing anyway.
Hamid says, did you get to the issue of the thighs and awrah?
What was the issue?
Like, they showed you the hadith about the thighs. And I think it's in Sunnah.
Man, we talked about that so long ago and you're just not reminding me about it. What was the issue?
Like, his thighs are awrah or not? Like the top. I mean, not the top, the very bottom.
I mean, the issue about that hadith when the Prophet ﷺ exposed his thigh. whether or not that's from the khasa'is or not. And it was not from the khasa'is because he sat there with a sahaba like that. So some of the ulama say, no, it's not from the urah. But that doesn't mean that you go around exposing your thighs like that. He did that for, he didn't do that regularly. He always kept himself covered. As far as the hadith about the knees to the belly button in Sunnah Abi Dawud, the hadith is da'if. It's known to be da'if. So, but it's still, that's what the ulama act upon. That's what they use. Because the qaida of Abi Dawud was what? What was this principle when he was dealing with hadith? Huh? Nobody?
To revise.
You have to revise what? You ain't got to revise it.
No, I have to review.
Review what?
I studied Abi Dawud.
No, but you have to study the Risala of Abi Dawud because he wrote a Risala about his Sunnah. All right, it's a small Risala that he explains what he was doing. Because for him, he was saying like a hadith that's da'if, but it's not shadid al-dhaf. It's not really, really severely da'if. But a hadith that's da'if is better than nothing. It's better than just me trying to, guess, So he said, so that's why he would use that. He put those hadith in his Sunnah in place of when they didn't have anything else to use. So he didn't have anything else in that issue, but except for the hadith that was known to be da'if, so he would put the hadith that was da'if there.
Are you in a hurry? You're in a hurry?
Nah, not really, what?
Because Pakistani brother, inshallah, he's going to bring food. He just texted me right now.
Yeah. Inshallah. Good. He's not Pakistani, he's Bangladeshi.
Oh, yeah, Bangladesh. Who cares? Well, Bangladesh.
Big difference.
Hamid also says, can you stand in prayer with brothers who you know will distract you?
It depends. I mean, what are you praying? You praying in the masjid, in the farad, or are you praying at just, what are you praying? So,
I don't know.
if you're in the masjid, I mean, you got to pray. You have to pray. So,
Also says, today before a khutbah, I was trying to read Quran, but I was reading it so I could hear myself say the full letter clearly, but a brother said I'm bothering everyone because there's the hadith.
yeah, I'll keep talking about this. He sent me the thing too, and I keep forgetting to look that up, man. Because I look, man, everybody in the social media world, I got all the last 3 boxes of my books this week, and they didn't all come at once, so I have not been concerned about any issues that like everything that you asked me this week is been erased. I finally got Tafsir al-Tabari, and the biggest problem was Tafsir al-Tabari because why? Sajid put half in one box and half in another box. So the first box came, and I saw Tafsir al-Tabari. I'm like, yes, but it was like what? It was like the middle. It was just the middle and the last volume. And volume, it wasn't even the last volume. I think it was volume 15. And 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, And I'm like, man, come on, Sajid. And then what happened was the second box that the rest of Tafsir al-Tabari was supposed to be in, was supposed to be delivered the next day. Guess what? It didn't show up. I sat there waiting until 9 o'clock, looking outside, and it never showed up. I'm like, oh my God, they done lost the rest of Tafsir al-Tabari. That's why I'm sitting there thinking they've lost it. They've lost it. It's over, Now I'm going to have to rebuy Tafsir al-Tabari all over again. And then it came the next day. On, what was it, Thursday, I guess it was. I think it showed up on Thursday. Yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was supposed to, no, it was yesterday. It was supposed to come on Wednesday, and it didn't show up. And it showed up yesterday. So yeah, man, I am not. When I got Tafsir al-Tabari back, and all those books put on my shelf, my mind went back to factory reset, man. So you got to go back and reprogram these questions back into my head again. I don't remember anything. Purposely. I had to make space for the reading. Come on.
Mustafa says, if you move at the same time as the Imam, then is the Salah valid?
If you what?
If you move at the same time as the Imam in Salah, is your Salah accepted?
Salah. I mean, what are you talking about? Did he say Allahu Akbar?
It just says if you move at the same time as the Imam.
Well, you're not supposed to move at the same time with a man. You're sinful. There's no doubt that you're going to the reward for it, but as long as you didn't move before him,
But would the salah be valid or nullified?
it'd be valid, inshallah. As long as the imam, like if the imam said, Allahu Akbar, I'm just looking at this thing that Hamid said.
Says the word fi and fi sima, why is it on and not in? I'm curious about the meaning of the word.
First off, that hadith, as far as the hadith that Hamid sent, they were in i'tikaf and they were doing qiyam al-layl. And each person, everybody was praying. But they were raising their voices up in the salat. This is not raising their voices up in the qira'atul Quran. You know, so that's what he was talking about. He was talking about your praying. That you're having a secret conversation with your Lord. You don't need to raise your voice up like that. That's what he was talking about, was the salat. He wasn't talking about the recitation of the Quran in the masjid. And that's, when a person who tries to use qiyas with something alladhi la yasa', like, qiyas is what? What is this?
Analogy.
It's not an analogy. It's like basically you're taking a hukum of something like, for example, like, okay, we take the hukum of taswir. It's haram. Now what about moving pictures? What about motion pictures? Now, these are pictures, but they're what? They're moving. So in this case that we say that videos, movies, all of this is what? It's haram because it has a hukum of what? A taswir, right? So now it goes under that. This issue, it falls under that issue. But when people try to take an issue like something and then they try to broaden it too far, to try to include things that it doesn't include, this is what you call fasid al-i'tibar. This is when like the qiyas is fasid. And when they do this, it's called fasid al-i'tibar because they're trying to include something in something that it doesn't include. And they're just trying to do it because, again, it goes back to, we don't want people reciting Quran in the masjid, so we're going to do this. So no, this is batil. That hadith has nothing, there's no istidlal for that hadith against recitation of the Quran out loud. That is at a time when the people were standing up and they were all trying to pray, but everybody was trying to be louder than the other one in the salat. So no. I wish Abdul Malik were here, because then Abdul Malik can say exactly these people that try to use these hadith and try to make it include things that it doesn't include. What will he say?
You are not faqih.
Yeah, you're not faqih.
Well, speaking of Abdul Malik, he says, the hadith, the one who refused to rinse salam swallows the fire. Is it weak or sahih?
I don't know. I don't know of a hadith like that. And the person who refuses what?
That refuses to return the salam, swallows the fire. Is it weak or sahih?
I don't know. Like I said, if he refuses, I don't know. Only narration that I can think of the top of my head is the narration about the two people. لا يحجر أخاه فوق what? فوق ثلاثة. يلتقي هذا ويلتقي هذا وخيرهم إيش؟ من بدأ بالسلام.
طيب مثلا الشخص انت ما تدري لو هو مسلم ولا لا، يعني انت لازم ترد على السلام.
If you're not sure that he's a Muslim, see, there's a difference of opinion about that, and it depends if you just want to take the zahir of the hadith, or you want to take what Ibn al-Qayyim said about it. The zahir of the hadith is if a kafir gives you salam, you say wa alayk or wa alaykum. You don't return the salam. You don't ever give them salam. Ibn al-Qayyim was of the opinion, because here it wasn't going against the hadith, but clearly in that hadith, the Yahudi went up to he said what? Assam alaykum. Assam, it means a death, like al-maut alayk, So he was trying to make dua against the Prophet, and the Prophet responded, wa alayk. And then, but Aisha, she insulted him, alayk Allah, so she went off on him. And he said, alam tasma'i ma radatu lahu. He said, wa alaykum, fa innahu yustajabu lana wa la yustajabu lakum. So he said, I told him, wa alaykum, because he said it's answered for us, but it's not answered for them. Because Allah will answer our dua against them, but won't answer their dua because it's oppression. He's not going to answer it against us. So that was for a person that clearly said Assam alaikum. It was clear. So Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, he used that hadith to say, if a kafir comes up to you and says what? Clearly, Assalamu alaikum. That is permissible to respond with what? Wa alaikum assalam. However, I am not with Ibn al-Qayyim on that one, based on the zahir of the hadith, that the Prophet ﷺ responded to them what? Wa alaikum. Alaikum, whatever y'all said to us, wa alaikum for y'all. But not to respond to them and with the salam. Allah knows best.
The ruling of a woman not being allowed to allow anyone in her husband's home without his permission the same if they are in a hotel?
It's anywhere that they're together.
Like even a car?
Huh?
Even a car?
Anything that's his possession, it's his place, his dominion. She should not.
Sometimes at night when the lights are on in the house.
And obviously he's talking about, the hadith is talking about females, not males. All right. She should never let a male in the house, period.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it's her family, close family, not her cousin.
But she still need permission from her husband though.
Yeah, but I'm saying that this is for females. Like if there's a female that he doesn't want his wife to be around, he doesn't want that female in the house. Maybe she eats up all the food. Maybe she's a thief. Maybe she's like, so he says, don't ever let this woman in my house. And it's not permissible for the woman to let that woman in the house. Well, what's up?
Why are you laughing? He laughed. I said they give me any way of something saying it.
Man, I don't even, man, I'm so mad at cats today, man.
Every person should have a cat.
Not the cat that we get, not our kitten, man, but that cat outside, Fluffy, man. I've been sitting there calling that cat King Fluffy for all this time, and then my son just tells me yesterday, Baba, it's a girl. I'm like, girl, mind nothing, man. Like, man, I said, feed the cat. And I turned on my flashlight, and started shining. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
And I said, we're going to find out today if this thing is a girl or a boy. And I said, man, that thing definitely, because it's so hairy. That's why I call it Fluffy. Because the tail is like, real bushy tail, so I couldn't see, because there's too much fluffy going on behind in the back, so I couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl. I just assumed it was a boy. Turns out, King Fluffy is Queen Fluffy. I said, man, you transvestite, get up out of here, man. Like, you transgender, whatever. Man, oh, man, subhanAllah, now Queen Fluffy now.
Is it a cat? Or a kitten, I mean?
No, it's a grown cat. We raised the cat up, Akhi, and I never knew that it was a girl. We raised it from a kid, but outside. We never let it in the house. Just like these masjid cats. We come home, they run, and we feed them.
Sometimes at night, when the lights are on in the house, when a woman stands in front of the window, when the blinds are closed.
Man, it's just like a horror story.
No, it's actually a good question.
I'll go.
You want me to repeat it?
I'll go ahead. Sometimes in the house at night, the woman stands in front of the blinds. And she probably has the light on, and her figure is going to show out in the blinds. And what's the question, though?
When the blinds are closed, but when there are no... Because when they keep typing, the chat goes up, and I lose my spot.
Screenshot it.
Or just read the question and remember it.
In her house, okay. When the lights are on in the house, when a woman stands in front of the window, when the blinds are closed, but when there are no curtains, other people are sometimes able to see her silhouette from outside. Is this permissible for her, or would this be considered her showing?
Now we consider her showing off her form, because it's showing off her form. It's her silhouette. Get a blackout curtain, inshallah. Man, it's not permissible. I figured that's where the question was going. But I was going to wait till you asked it.
What's the meaning of the isbal of the imama?
Isbal of the imama. I don't know if isbal of the imama. Isbal is referring to the pants going below the ankle.
It says.
Now, some people might refer to like the imama based on different hadith that I don't even know if they're authentic about how long the tail or the tail of the imama was when the Prophet ﷺ tied it up. So maybe that's what they're referring to, like it's, because some people they go to extremes and they try to have the thing going all the way down his back. I don't know, maybe that's what they're referring to along this list.
Hamid says my mom wears the scarf that is big and covers the half body, but she wears the loose pants. Is that allowed?
Women shouldn't be wearing pants.
Shouldn't?
Shouldn't.
Okay.
It still shows the form. I mean, you live in 2024, man. Dudes right now look at people's grandmothers. Akhi, you know, people are sick, akhi. You know, any way that a woman could protect herself, and not just protect her, but she's also, and by covering up, and she's protecting herself, and she's protecting the brothers. Because again, you know, you don't feed into people's sicknesses. If you know that people are sick with certain things, you try to avoid that. You try to protect, you know. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ said. What did he say about the brotherhood? He said what? Ansur akhak what? Dhaliman aw mazluman. And then what did they say? They said, you know, help your brother and assist your brother, whether he's the oppressor or the oppressed. And they said, well, okay, they kind of mazluman. طيب, ولكن كان ظالما كيف ننصره? You know, if he's the oppressor, how do we assist him if he's the oppressor? فقال تمنعه من ظلمه. So, you know, to prevent him from doing the oppression. Don't give him the opportunity to do the oppression. So I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, we live in a time, people are sick of it. I mean, subhanAllah, we got dudes now. I ain't even going to that.
I accidentally
Just deleted the chat or something?
No. Knowledge on it. That's the only question I actually accidentally skipped. He says, is edible gold halal to eat? Asking because we can't eat/drink from gold utensils.
The Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kulu wa shrabu wa la tusrifu. How much is edible gold?
No, I think like those gold chocolate coins.
No, he's talking about actual gold. They cook it on steaks now. It's like little gold sheets, and they put it in, because gold itself is a mineral from the earth. It's a mineral from the earth. Yeah, it's soft. Like if you had like pure gold, yeah, you could literally bite into it. You know, Yeah, it's a mineral, but I mean, I don't know about eating like actual pure gold. But they make these little gold sheets, and then then they charge like I don't know how much for these steaks that they cook. So I mean, that's rough. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Kulu, eat, washrabu, and drink, wala tusrifu," but don't become extravagant and wasteful. You know, eat what you need, but you don't need to be. No, I mean that type of stuff should be refrained from.
This question is gonna anger the Azharis. It says, "Is it a bid'ah to recite Dua al-Qunut in a beautiful voice?"
That's not the Prophet ﷺ didn't do that with dua anyways. So if he didn't do it, then what does that tell you? For you to say that it's not a bid'ah, didn't come with a narration that the Prophet did it or the Sahaba did it. You know.
So is it a bid'ah?
If there's no narration that they did it, it's a bid'ah. I don't know of any narration that they beautified their voice in anything like that. And on top of that, there's no narration that the Prophet ﷺ ever did qunut and witr aslan. Or so the only time he did qunut was in the salawat fil nawazil. When there were issues like the kuffar attacked the Muslims, that he would make dua on the kuffar in the salah. And that's it. And of course, you're sitting there making dua against the enemies of Islam. What are you going to do? Sit there and sing? You like Justin Bieber or something? Like, what are you going to do? You're supposed to be making dua against the enemies of this deen. We're going to be like, Allah yaqtul aduk. You know, like, come on, man. It's like, come on. Allah yaqtuluhum. Allah yansuruna alayhim. You want quwwah, you know, because the whole point is that, especially if the Muslims are being attacked, you know, your dua should be doing what? It should be making the Muslims feel stronger. You sitting there singing to them, akhi, what time? This ain't the time for that anyways.
Here's I think.
Say it from your time.
Say it with some bass in your voice. Yeah.
Say it from your chest. This one. It's a hadith.
What's the hadith?
I think go about the imamah. That was it. نزلت الدبة.
I don't know about this one.
نزلت الدبة صح.
The last part of the hadith I know about it, but as far as like al-isbal min al-izar, al-isbal min al-izar ma'ruf. Isbal min al-imama. I have to go back and check the hadith.
Oh,
But the last part is a shahid as far as the izar is concerned. Man jarra izarahu khuyala. So I don't know about the imama. I've never seen, you know.
what? أعوذ بالله. He says, he's trying to say that Abu Hanifa died as a Jahmi.
Next question.
I think that's all.
What's interesting is a statement by Al-Imam Ahmed, rahimahullah. What did he say?
There's people that
When he was given the tafsir of the ayah from the Quran, he said, فَلْيَحْذَرَ الَّذِينَ يُخَالِفُوا عَنْ أَمْرِهِ أَن تُصِيبَهُم فِتْنَةٌ أَوْ يُصِيبَهُم عَذَابٌ عَلِيمٌ. All right. When he was given the tafsir of this ayah, what did Imam Ahmed say?
تدري من الفتنة؟
Huh?
تدري من الفتنة؟
Before that though. That's the part after that. He said, at the ajib, I'm trying to, like, if I get some of the wording right, inshallah khair. If I don't, you can go back and check it online. He said, at the ajib من قوم عرفوا الإسناد وصحته يذهبون إلى قول سفيان وألم تروا أن الله سبحانه وتعالى قال فليحذر الذين يخالفون عن أمره إيش أن تصيبهم فتنة أو يصيبهم عذاب عليم. قال ما تدري ما الفتنة؟ قال الفتنة الشرك لعله أن رد بعد قوله أن يقع في قلبه شيء من الزيغ فيهلك. So here Imam Ahmed he said I'm surprised at the people that know isnad wa sihhatahu. And this is for the people of Ahl al-Hadith. Y'all need to write this down. This narration from Imam Ahmed. You should write this down and keep this like with you wherever you go. He said, I'm amazed at the people that know the isnad wa sihhatahu, and they know the authenticity of the isnad, but they choose to follow the opinions of Sufyan al-Thawri. So why is he saying this? Because the original madhab that the people used to follow at that time was they went and started following the opinions of what? Sufyan al-Thawri, right? So he said, I'm amazed at the people that know the chains of narrations and know the authenticity of these chains, but they choose to follow the opinions of Sufyan. He said, do they not know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, so let them beware, the people that go against what? يُخَالِفُونَ عَنْ أَمْرِ مَنْ? And the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ones that go against his commands. And tusibahum fitna, that they might be afflicted with fitna. أو يصيبهم عذاب عليم, or they be afflicted with a painful chastising punishment, right? So he said, أتدرون ما الفتنة? He said, do y'all not know what fitna is? He said, al-fitna is shirk. He said, it's shirk. He said, لعله أن رد بعد قوله. He said, it could be that he might reject some of the statements of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because he's going to reject those statements based on what? Going to the opinions of the sheikh. He's going to reject it to go to the opinions of the sheikh that he's following. He said, "And رد بعد قوله أن يقع في قلبه شيء من الزيغ." What is zayg? It's like deviation. Yeah, like this type of deviation might enter into his heart after he rejects the statement of the Prophet. And then after that deviation enters into his heart, he goes off the sirat al-mustaqim, فَلْيَحْلِكْ, and then he's destroyed. And he's destroyed.
Someone said, also gold isn't a mineral, not to be inert, but it's a metal. I think they're trying
That's right. No. But it's got minerals in it, I'm saying. Yeah. All right, nerd. Just like the Prophet ﷺ said what? About the planting of the nakhla, what did he say? Antum a'lamu bi dunyakum. Yeah, you are more knowledgeable about your dunya. So, yeah.
Asad says...
Asad, my son. No, my son ain't on no live chat.
Says Asad. Saad says...
You said salam alaikum.
No.
What do you say?
So I said?
Yeah.
Yeah, salam.
Oh, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sa'ad says, and this is for accidentally skipping your question. There are people that keep saying niqab isn't fard, and this is an issue of ikhtilaf. Can you elaborate on it?
There's no ikhtilaf. There's an ikhtilaf because, the only ikhtilaf is the people that follow the Sunnah and the people that refuse. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the nisa and min jalabibihin, al-jilbab, the command is with the jilbab. It's not with a niqab. And jilbab is bigger than a niqab. Jilbab, it covers what? Well, it has different meanings, but let's say the standardized meaning is it covers from the top of the head to the bottom of the foot. But it also, even in the smallest meaning of what a jilbab is, it covers from the top of the head to the chest. It covers this area right here. So they pull this over to cover up their whole, their hair, their face, and everything. That's what the women are commanded to cover with. And the only time, if the women were not commanded to cover, like the believing women, were not. What was the purpose? What was the purpose? What was the sabab nuzul hadith ayah? ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى أَنْ إيش?
Because they were getting bothered. The people, they would see them as the slave girls.
They couldn't differentiate between the believing women and the slave girls. So the believing women were commanded to completely cover so they can differentiate. And they wouldn't bother the women anymore. Yeah. So that was a command. That was a command to all the believing women. I've never seen any mufassir say that it was permissible for a woman to uncover her face. I don't, this was a statement, this was an opinion of Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah, and Shaykh al-Uthaymeen refuted him, a refutation for the ages, akhi. He refuted him and a refutation for the ages. So it's a small risala that Shaykh al-Uthaymeen refuted him with, and that was enough. That was sufficient. There was no response to that risala after that. So
There's also audio of it too.
That's probably what it originally was. It was probably audio, and then they put it in a risala. So, yeah.
No, but the audio sounded nothing, like it was different, because the wording was different. I think it was actual.
You see, like the issue, like the women in Hajj.
There it is.
What's that?
Our food.
Walaikum
So,
salam.
what we got today?
Did you hear him online?
Oh, come on.
No.
Trying to make enemies. Trying to make everybody enemies. today.
What you talking about?
Is
Making
this
food?
feed?
This is sweet, like a fruit custard.
Okay, that's what I said. You bringing sweets. I didn't know you bringing food.
It's fruit custard,
Yeah.
It's like milk and fruits
Yeah.
together. I know you like sweets.
Yes. You gonna pray? You staying for the salah, right?
Yeah.
We're about to pray right now, inshallah. One more question. Let's go.
Sure.
Let's say a person like he gets.
But his question doesn't count. Huh?
So let's say a person like he gets to like a tattoo of something with shit here, like a Bible verse, and then he reverts to Islam. What should the person like?
He reverts?
He what?
He like
Converts?
yeah.
Converts or
reverts to Islam.
Converts or reverts?
Revert or convert? Oh, not revert. Yeah. Revert?
Abdul Malik, come over here.
Revert or
We got
convert?
somebody in the
Is it
masjid
convert
saying
or
convert.
Wait, what
Revert,
is
I
revert.
said at first revert, and then like.
Revert.
Yeah, then he gathered back up his.
Oh, you got a cat on you.
He gathered up his mind and then he said convert.
Convert or revert? Revert?
Say convert and then he'll explain revert in the car. He can't revert to Islam because he was never Muslim. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he didn't say that every child is born on Islam. He said, "Kullu mawludin yulad ala fitra." Fitra, that he knows his Lord. That he, if you left that child, that he would know. Do you have a God? There's things that he would know, but he's not a Muslim. What I'm saying? He hasn't believed in Islam. He hasn't accepted the Muhammad as the messenger. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't born on Islam. Because that's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Kullu mawludin yulad ala fitra," that they're born in that natural disposition. All right. He said, "For abawahu yuhawidanihi, aw yunasiranihi, aw yumajisanihi." But it's his father and his mother. They either make him a Jew, make him a Christian, or make him a Majusi. Majusi. Yeah, these people like Daniel's cousins over in Iran. Yes. Yeah, so those are the Majus, right?
Huh?
Yes, the Persians from before, they used to worship fire. Yeah, yes. Or they used to believe in two creators, that there was a creator of good and a creator of evil and all this type of foolishness, right? So, yeah, but it doesn't say that he was born on Islam. It says he's born on the Fitra. So you don't say he reverted. He reverted to what? To the Fitra? Or you can't revert back to the Fitra once the Fitra has been changed. But you convert. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that's throughout the Quran, the word aslama, aslama, aslama. So no. So you don't say revert. Say he converted. Yeah. What's your question, by the way?
Okay, the question originally was that somebody
Converted.
If somebody got like a tattoo of and has like a shit on it or like a Bible verse on it, and then he converted like this, what should the person do with that tattoo?
I mean, if he's able to get it removed, you definitely can't get something tattooed over it if that's what you're asking. And the only other thing, because see, how can I say this without saying stuff about my past that I don't want to be said? See, I used to hang around with like certain gangs, but not being a member of them. They used to use the 6-point star. So I had the 6-point star tattooed underneath the big black panther on my forearm. It's still now. So when I was in Yemen, I used to, and I saw that and I was like, man, these people, they're not going to know what that is. They're just going to see a 6-point star tattooed on my arm. They're going to think, what?
You're a Jew.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So I literally, one night, I took a razor and I broke the razor and I shaved my skin. Akhi, there was blood everywhere. I said, I'm going to get this tattoo off. I'm like, guess what? It did not come off. It's weaker now. And you can see the scar around where I tried to shave it off. But it's still there. So I wouldn't advise something like that. But I mean, I wouldn't go through like pain and suffering trying to get rid of it like that. That's what I'm saying. If I had known like that, I would have never done anything in the first place. But now they got like laser. But I don't know about the lasers, because see, the lasers, they kill the cells. So this is like my thing about the laser thing is, and somebody told me the same daddy. Remember the daddy that I told you that I'm not going to say who he is, but he used to go up to the person and ask him. So I asked him about the same issue. And he said that he had a friend that actually did the laser removal, and he got all his tattoos removed because he was like a biker dude, and then he became Muslim. Because he was going to Mecca, and the people kept saying, hey, the tattoos are haram, and people do this, right? I literally had a person, I walked out of my room one day, and I had my sleeves up, and they saw the tattoo on my arm. This was in Damaj. And next thing you know, I get a knock at the door, and I'm like, what? What's the problem? Why are you knocking on my door like the police, He's like, Ya akhi, washim haram. I'm like, man, man, get up out of here, akhi. But it's just because of the ignorance of the people, right? They're Bedouins, akhi. It's the first time they've seen it. Because, first off, tattoos were not a man thing. Even in Jahiliyyah, men did not get tattoos. Who got the tattoos? The women. Yes, this is a woman, this is a female thing. This was never a man thing. Men did not get tattoos. The women used to get tattoos on their face, and then, like this, but...
Pre-Islam?
Yeah, pre-Islam. Yeah, the men were not getting the tattoos, it was the females. So Allah musta'an. That's why you see with the attire marbuta wal washima, wal mutawashim, you see it with the feminine, because these are things that women used to do. They didn't, not the men. But anyways, going back to this da'i guy, he said that his friend, once he got those tattoos removed, it looked like he got burned up in a house fire. So he said it was better that he just left the tattoos as they were, because how he looked afterwards, it wasn't good.
I think they changed now. Because one time I got laser for something.
You had a tattoo on your face?
No, of course not. No, because
you're pointing like I got a laser.
No,
right
I had laser like right here, all right here.
You had the teardrops or something? Or?
Like no, heck no. No, I was in Yemen, Sana'a, and I got laser because at the time I had acne, like cystic acne.
You let a Yemeni in Yemen put a laser on your face?
It went away.
Ooh, boy, you're lucky your whole face, half your face didn't go away.
Yeah, I'm just saying it could work. Laser.
Dude, I wouldn't. Yemenis don't even, if they have any medical issues, they leave and go to Egypt, Germany, Jordan, anywhere else, but they will not go to the hospital in Yemen.
It wasn't a hospital.
Laser surgery, akhi, where is it at? At somebody's garage?
It was like a big clinic. It wasn't like a.
It's a clinic, mustosa, whatever, but wow.
Yeah, it worked. Cause there was a point where it was just very bad, and then it went away.
Oh, you lucky you didn't get turned into a frog or something. What's the last question so we can go? His question don't
So
count.
should that person like cover it or?
If he can get it removed, but he can't cover it. He can't cover it with another tattoo.
No, I'm like with like a piece of clothing. I'm saying.
Just keep that's what he said. I just keep long sleeves on.
You just use a Sharpie.
Sharpie.
Yeah, if it's just
It's
like,
not-
if it's
Sharpie's
a
not-
Bible verse, it's just probably that big.
You know when they say the Sharpies are permanent, they don't really mean permanent like that.
Yeah,
You know.
just do it every day when you wake up.
Why?
To cover.
I just always wear.
Why don't you just put a Band-Aid over it?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A Sharpie.
Oh, I figure it's probably only like that big. You just...
Did you drink this coffee?
No.
Okay, because if you did, you're never drinking it ever again. That's too much.
I just always wear a hoodie over my
Oh, well, that place in Yemen.
You have tattoos?
Yeah.
What, you? What? You look too nice, Akhi. Do you imagine this guy with tattoos? Wow.
And it's not Hamza, by the way. so people say Hamza does not have tattoos.
He got his removed in Yemen.
I've never had a tattoo.
In the garage.
In a garage in Yemen.
I never had a tattoo.
We're gonna get him in trouble, and it's so fun.
What happened to the
He's gonna get a phone call. It's like in 10 minutes. So I heard you had tattoos.
No,
Hamza never had tattoos. Let's just be clear.
never had, not even planning on.
But that was still kind of dumb to have a
No, but
Yemeni in a garage
I think
shooting a laser at his
new.
face.
It was all new equipment. When I went, it looked brand new equipment. And the person looked like they knew what they were doing. It worked. I mean, I'm telling you, it worked.
Wow. I saw a brother. Where was this brother from? It's a West African country. I want to say, is it Guinea or what was it called? I can't remember. He's from West Africa, right? This dude was like a straight up.
Did you say Uganda?
No.
I know you're
Nah, Uganda's in East Africa.
No, Wakanda. Wakanda.
All right, so he was he told me like he was like a cow herder. Like, you know, when he goes back to his village, it's like they just got nothing but cows, right? So he got typhoid fever, I think it was. Typhoid. That's, you know, everybody gets that. Typhoid. What are you talking about?
Doesn't everybody Japanese get in the water?
Yeah, when you get like feces and stuff that's mixed in with like water and stuff, yeah, you can get that. So they thought he had malaria, Yemenis, right? They didn't even ask him what he had, and they gave him a shot, or they gave him, I can't remember. It could be. It's been so long, Akhi. It's one of the two, right? Either he had malaria and they gave him the medicine for typhoid, or he had typhoid and they gave him the medicine for malaria. I don't know, but I know when we went to visit him in his house, his stomach was up to here. Like, wallahi, I thought he was pregnant, Akhi. Like, his stomach, and we're like, this brother's about to die. And we're like, what is it? And then what did they find out? They found out because they gave him the wrong medicine. Because they misdiagnosed him. It was just one of those two. Either it might have been that he had malaria and they gave him the medicine for typhoid. But whatever the case may be, man, they almost killed him, Akhi.
So they didn't kill him?
No.
He got healthy again, or?
He got healthy. I mean, who knows now? I mean, 20 years later, what damage that stuff does to you, you know. Sometimes the damage is not going to be seen right away. So, yeah, man, I'll never trust doctors in Yemen, Akhi. No.
They didn't.
I had like my wisdom tooth came in and crushed the tooth next to it. Actually, I was in so much pain. And I just sat there and just bit on my knuckles for 2 weeks. And bit on my knuckles for 2 weeks. Actually, I would wake up and excruciate. I would not go to a Yemeni dentist.
You can't just get like an ibuprofen.
Huh? I don't take medicine from I was just eating on cloves. Cloves have a natural chemical in it that like deadens the
Garlic cloves.
cloves. No, cloves. Not cloves, cloves.
Shirts.
Cloves,
I know,
man.
I know.
Cloves. Quran full, akhi. Quran full. It's a clove. It's a little, brown thing, and it's got, they put it in tea.
Oh, yeah, it's good for your teeth.
Yeah, you chew on it, and it will take the pain away temporarily. But you got to keep chewing on
Oh,
them.
yeah, I see
The downside of it is that cloves make you what? Yeah, they just make you like this all day long. You just relax. So your energy's gone.
Yeah, I think they crush it up and they'll pour it on like a tube. They got a tube egg.
Yeah, or you take the oil, you can put the oil in it.
So is it good for sleep too?
If you take a lot of them, you'll definitely be sleeping a lot. Yeah. Yeah, man, no joke. But I would not go to the Yemeni dentist. No, sir, no way. Oh, no. This guy is brave, Akhi. I told my family, I said, if it's like life or death, let me die at home. But do not take me to a hospital, a Yemeni hospital, and let the Yemenis kill me. Let me just die at home. No. Even when I had like the most worst dysentery, whatever, I had typhoid, I had malaria, all of this stuff. I never went to the doctor. I just sat in the house and said, Yalla, Ya Rabbi. You know what I'm saying? What to say, man?
Speaking about the Yemeni doctors, one time I was telling a Yemeni that qat was haram. He was like, أخي, قال لو كان القات حرام كانوا الأطباء في اليمن ما كان شو يعملوا هذا. Like if they trying to say that في العمليات and surgeries that the Yemeni doctors they chew on qat. So if it was haram they wouldn't have been doing it.
The doctors sit there in Yemen, Akhi. I wanted to go see a doctor because that issue that I told you, I didn't know I was allergic to green peppers. And they were putting green peppers in hamburger patties all throughout Yemen, right? So it got to the point where I couldn't swallow anything, no food for 12 days straight. I couldn't. So I went to this one doctor to find out what was going on. And he's like, what's the problem? In his office, Akhi, he's sitting there smoking. He put the cigarette on. What's the problem? I ain't got no problem, Akhi. Man, you know what I'm saying? You don't even take care of yourself, man. Man, that's the doctors in Yemen. Sitting there just smoking right there. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's crazy, Akhi. You let that dude shoot you with a laser.
It worked though.
Let's see.
What do you mean? It's been like 7 years already, so
All
it's
right.
worked. So.
Starts changing and starts metamorphosing or something like that.
Start growing wings and stuff.
Yeah.
Then we take over the world. Why are you laughing? No. Does a woman walk in front of another woman break the salah?
That's a good question.
Isn't it yes?
I mean, it said, يقطع الصلاة. And he mentioned al-mar'a, so that's our woman. And he didn't specify the salat for the man or the salat for the woman. But I mean, I have to check that. But I mean, on the zahir of the hadith, yes.
Yeah, like subhanAllah, this brother Hassan, he's very persistent with the questions about riba. He says, as a network engineer, if I work on a network and systems of a company and everyone benefits from it, even the finance people who do riba, is my profession haram?
Again.
As a network engineer, if I work on a network and systems...
Didn't you already ask this question before? I had a question that was similar to this. Anything that you do that's a ta'awun, that you're helping them out with interest, then you're a part of it. You're a part of it. It doesn't matter. You're the ones fixing the network or setting up the programs for them to do it, whatever. You're a witness to it. You're setting up the program. They wouldn't be able to do that without you helping them. So then you're assisting in that. So it's not permissible. Use your talent, use your skills for something that's halal, something that's beneficial for the Muslims. The reason why a lot of people feel that they can't make they can't make money with these types of professions, except for they're doing it for the kuffar, is because what? Because we're so disorganized and we're so, Akhi, we have our own, you look at the Muslims and how much money is amongst the Muslims, like, khalas, man. These are the types of, we ourselves should be taking these brothers that have these skills and starting putting them to use to the benefit of the Muslims and making more money for the Muslims in the community. You got all these masajid running around begging for money all the time. Everybody begging for money all the time, just to do what? We got all this stuff, Akhi. We got all these resources, but Akhi, we use nothing. We're the most useless community of people. And you look at like 10 plus million Muslims, and look how many educated Muslims, so many, Akhi. You go to Jacksonville, it's like, in Jacksonville we had just doctors and chiropractors and all these guys, Akhi, with just money. So for what? Where is the benefit? What is it doing? The masjid is still begging for money every single Friday. We have nothing to show for it because they're using all of their services, and they're making the kuffar money. They're making the money for them. You know, we have none of, like, all of these guys, they come from, like, a lot of the doctors and the chiropractors, they're from Pakistan, they're from Afghan, and they're from, like, you know, India. All right, because you guys are hustlers, man. The Bengalis, you know how to start businesses and start selling things, right? But the doctors, they're all working for somebody. You see all these Pakistani doctors, who has their own practice? They're always working for what? Somebody else. They're making money for other people. They're not making, you know. So where is the business? Where is for us? You know, where are the Muslim doctors, the female doctors that are only going to treat the women? You know, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, now our Muslim women have to go to a hospital or tawakkal ala Allah. Maybe she gets a female doctor, maybe she gets, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe they tell you, well, we only have a male doctor. So we end up having to put our women in these types of predicaments because we're disorganized. And we're not thinking about, like, akhi, this is now. And this is Islam that's been in this country for how many decades, akhi? And, you know, look at where we're at now. You think it's going to get better? I mean, going in the direction that we're going in, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So, I mean, it's like, we're going to have to turn this thing around and go back to wherever we went off, where we veered off, and try to get back on the straight path again and start focusing on what's beneficial for us as a ummah, as a community. I mean, it's like I said, we don't have to cut ourselves off from society, but, you know, hey, the Chinese have Chinatown, right? You know, you go to New York and you got all these places. Look at the Jews and how they live in New York amongst each other. They got their own police, you know, in certain areas of New York. Yeah, hey, come on, man.
In New York, they have a place called Little Yemen. You know about that? You don't know? It's an extremely big.
Oh, is it a bunch of smoke shops and gas stations?
That I don't know. I don't know about that. But I was there. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but it's called it. And there was actually a lot of, you know, Yemeni cultural, like, supermarkets over there. It was nice. I was there, so it was very big. And you just
see, that's what I'm saying. That's Little Yemen.
You just see
that's good for the Yemeni people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about what benefits the Yemeni people. I care what benefits the Muslims. See, that's the problem. That everything that we do, it has to have some type of culture attached to it. This is the Yemeni this is the Indian this is the Pakistani this is the black this is the white this. Well, I can't forget all this. This is what's causing us to, like, be losers because everybody's focusing on what? Their culture, their race. Yeah, he put all that stuff to the side. We're Muslims. We need to start thinking about what's going to benefit all of us as Muslims. If I'm following the Quran and the Sunnah, I don't care where you're from. I don't care who you are. I studied in Yemen. This brother studied in Medina. This brother studied in Egypt. This brother studied in Maghreb. This brother studied in Mauritania. But we all try to learn the Sunnah. We're brothers. I don't care about none of that stuff. But that's the thing. Everybody's got to attach that to their culture, not attaching it to Islam. That's why you see it. We talked about this. All these shops. None of them are like halal subs, halal pizza, halal. They just like, It doesn't say halal.
It does.
Where does it say?
Well, it says on the menu.
Like 2 toppings, yeah, like the.
No, there's more than on 2.
No, I'm saying it's written on the sign.
Yeah, it is.
It says halal
like
on the
outside
sign.
or like on the menu?
No, on the sign.
Yeah, it does.
Where?
It does. Go look at it.
Bring
Go
it
look
up right
Go.
now. Cam's Pizza.
Because I passed by it the other day. Maybe if they didn't update it, but I seen it myself.
They might have updated the sign, maybe.
Maybe, but because it says Cam's and Halal.
On the sign, like outside?
Mm-hmm. Or like where they have, right next to the Starbucks, there's a big sign of
Starbucks.
No, like, because you know how
There's no
Cam's...
Starbucks over there.
Yeah, it is. Oh, come on. This is Starbucks right in front of Cam's.
Pizza and ice cream. I don't see it.
Yeah, it was updated then.
No, that's the sign. I never saw it halal written on it.
No, I'm talking about the other sign. You know where they have the...
That's the sign for the building.
No, like the logo, like the plaza, like you got like Starbucks, you got Cam's, you got this.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
talking
know
about.
what you're talking. Like the sign in front of the
Yeah.
plaza. Yeah.
Like for the plaza, it has like
I
for
knew
example,
that.
when you go to like a plaza and it says Walmart, Save Mart, Smart and Final, all these places all together.
Yeah.
And it has like Cam's and then Starbucks and then
Like when
whatever.
you're driving and you turn into the plaza.
Yeah, I know what
It's
you're
a
talking
marquee sign, like monument sign.
like a market sign, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm saying I've seen it, and if it's not there anymore, then they change it. But I remember I passed by Mestre Fresno like 5 times a day for more than almost like 3 years already, and I've seen it so many times over there. And they did, and even on the menu it says halal on the menu. On certain parts it says halal, 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 halal. Obviously they aren't gonna put halal garlic bread cheese sticks, halal soda. Like, come on.
Well, they do that in other countries.
Or like halal water. Or this lettuce is zabiha, you know.
They put that in some countries. They put like halal on the water. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like European countries, they'll put like alcohol on anything. Like
Mm.
they'll put alcohol on soda and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, so I could see that like being necessary to put halal on it.
Mm. Last
Like,
question.
because when you go inside in the camps, when you look up, I think like even next to the gyro, next to the pepperoni on us, right now it has a halal symbol. Or like they even have halal
I don't think it's
chicken
called
wings.
gyro.
Gyro, yeah, they call it
No,
gyro.
the Greeks they call it gyro.
No, they call it, they
Yeah.
say, or like they even say 6-piece
No,
halal
this
chicken wings.
is an American thing.
I know.
This is Becky, and she doesn't go to Hadda, she goes to Hadda. You know, it's like, you know, gyro. I'm gonna go eat a gyro. And I say gyro. Gyro. Yeah, Americans, man.
Bro.
We want to, like Americans, we love to tell everybody what things should be called in their culture, right? Huh?
Have you had Golden Grill?
What is that?
It's like some.
No,
Syrian-
but
it's a
we're
Syrian
real quick.
Yeah.
But for the chicken wings at camps, they have like 6-piece halal chicken wings, 8-piece halal chicken wings. So they have halal on the menu and it says halal.
What's the last question? Come on, let's go.
I already asked.
No, this was the last one.
Someone, someone I think Maryam Job says, are we allowed to make dua against oppressors? What if they're
Against the what?
oppressors?
Oppressors.
What if they are Muslims and family members?
I wouldn't make dua against your family members. And you know, it depends on the situation. You know, all those types of situations, you got to take that according to the situation. You got some Muslims, they're Muslim by name and wallahi, they don't, I mean, they're just like evil, akhi. And then they just oppress people. And if they're oppressed, I mean, you got 2 choices, right? You take your rights, you really got 3 choices. You forgive the person, you make dua against the person, or you wait until the day of judgment and get your rights on the day of judgment. Some people, you know, and the insana khuliqa ish halua. You know, it's like he wants it now, like give it to me now. So he wants to make dua. You might want to save all that stuff for the day of judgment. Be patient because you'll need it more on the day of judgment. You know, I always look at those types of things when people with oppression. It's like I always stipulate it. You know, like, you know, if he makes Tawbah, may Allah forgive him. If he doesn't make Tawbah, I want my rights on the day of judgment. You know, if he dies in that state of oppression, then khalas. But I mean, you know, it's but family now, making dua against family now. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine. I don't care what issues I have with my family. I could never imagine making dua against a family member. Or even a brother who just like, he's practicing the deen. You see him in the masjid, he just messes up. He just, you know, some people, they just have bad behavior with people. You just gotta be patient. But then you got people that are just really crooked. You know? So, yeah. So, whatever you gotta do. So, it definitely works. Definitely works. You remember that kid? You were too small, huh? Some kid was yelling at your mother one time. You know, because that kid was insulting y'all. Y'all were small. And your mother got angry, just started making dua on the kid. Kid fell off the roof.
See, look, here's the thing. Really?
The kid fell off the 3rd story and broke his legs, and he was crawling around for a month because his parents didn't have the money to go take him to the Yemeni doctor that would probably cut off his legs.
With the laser in the garage.
And he was crawling around for months, like more
See,
than a
look,
month.
I found the menu for cans.
And
It says the halal right here. Like
Ah,
it says,
really?
here's the evidence.
you've eaten there more than I have, so I'm pretty sure you know.
Because they keep changing.
You don't
their
remember
stuff.
that? Y'all were too small. You were like 2 years old. But that kid was just yelling. You know, yelling all types of farm animals at you guys, calling y'all all types of farm animals. Your mother was like, I can't take this anymore. And boy, that kid fell right off the roof. I saw him crawling around like a snail, dude. I was like, man, that's the thing, boy. You make dua against people, then when Allah does it to the person, you feel sorry for the person. You're like, you know, that kid, because the parents were poor, you know. So Allah musta'an. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك